Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started. Hey, my beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and this month we are diving into living life abundantly. Today we are continuing on our journey with the 10-day book challenge featuring Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, book by Bob Proctor. And if you've been participating, I hope that you felt the shift beginning to happen in your mindset. And if you haven't joined us as of yet, it's not too late. Well, you can just go grab the book on Audible on Amazon. And you can support us in our public page for discussion on the inspiration, all right? Well, this week we are focusing on how your environment affects your ability to live abundantly. You see, creating a space that inspires abundance isn't just about tidiness. It's about intentions and clarity and joy. Well, today I'll be sharing tips and stories on decluttering and organizing and designing spaces that align with your abundant mindset, all right? But before we do this, let's take a quick break, and then when we return, we're going to get deeper into this topic, all right? It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back. What are some common barriers that prevent people from expressing? Hey, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here from the Season of Self-Love podcast.
Yeah, I would say remorse. So shame and guilt is a very dividing emotional.
And these are one of the many amazing conversations that we have every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Season of Self-Love podcast with myself, Nyomi Banks, as well as our resident therapist, Dr. Will Washington of Washington Wellness Institute.
Come by. The reality of our relationships with people.
Come by.
And a lot of times we're afraid of how people look at us. And so that compassion can't enter.
You can hit us on our website, really the Season of Self-Love podcast.com.
Let me ask you this. With the truth, is it...
Hey, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. We're bridging the gap between them all, and we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by. Me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG group. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to axnyomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you. All right, my beautiful people. Well, welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks. And today we are talking about decluttering. We are talking about decluttering. How do we live our life abundantly when we are amongst declutter? It's about creating an abundant life to inspire a space for it, all right? But before we get into the topic, I want to, kind of ground ourselves before we get into the topic at hand, all right? All right, so if you can just close your eyes, if you're able to, and take a deep breath in through your nose. Now slowly exhale. Now as you breathe out, I want you to imagine releasing any tension or clutter that is in your mind. Now picture your living space filled with light and love and abundance. See yourself surrounded by items that inspire joy, that inspire support, that support your dreams. Let this visualization guide you throughout today's episode, all right? Now take one more deep breath in. Now exhale slowly. All right, so let's begin. All right, my beautiful people. So if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, it's something we do every day, Monday through Friday, just to help ground and center us before we get into the topic at hand. All right, so let's talk about decluttering, a simple but powerful step toward creating an abundant environment. You know, your physical space reflects your mental and your emotional state. So when clutter builds up, it's like carrying an extra emotional baggage. Decluttering is about releasing what no longer serves you and makes room for what does. All right, so let me share y'all a little story with you all. So remember what I was talking about in the beginning of this series on how I didn't know how I was going to come with you this month with this series because it just felt like everything wasn't lining up. Everything wasn't lining up. My health wasn't doing well. Like everything that I thought should have been lined up was not lined up. Then I realized when I looked out into my bedroom, when I looked out into my closet, when I looked out into everything just felt so cluttered. Even though months ago I had decluttered my spaces. But there's still so much more stuff that I need to get rid of. So much stuff that I was still holding on to. But then I also realized in that moment that my space around me is what my mind was feeling, is what my emotions was feeling, is what I was feeling within inside myself. And I was like, okay, nah, this I have to figure all this out. This has to change. And it's funny that right now, you know, we're reading the book, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And it's the chapter that Bob Proctor, when he talks about how we react or, you know, working on things inside out instead of outside in. So I'm about to be very honest. Knowing that when my room is messed up or my workspace is junky, I knew there was something going on with me. I knew it was something internally that was going on with me that didn't quite know what was happening. But instead of me trying to figure out or work on what's going on within me internally, I will try to fix the things around me outside. So I was going outside in. And I didn't realize that until after I was reading that book. Because I thought, you know, I would say, oh, if things around us look pretty or smell pretty or feel pretty, we'll feel pretty. Which somewhat it's a 50-50 chance of that. But in the process, you still have to be working on your inner turmoil or whatever is going on with you, with your inner. You still have to be working on that while the outside is as you beautifying the outside. And that's what I wasn't working on. That is what I wasn't doing. I kept looking, well, the outside looked good, you know, it make me feel good. Yeah, when I walked through my house, it was smelling like ambers and, you know, stuff like this. But then you go upstairs to my room and it was like, oh, hell no. This is where the shit was happening. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So in the midst of that, I was like, okay, wait, because I made a commitment to myself that every room was going to be a room where it was going to be clear and free. Mind you, every month when we do a challenge, we always have a decluttering day. Always have a day of decluttering. And every day within them 8 hours, I declutter a space. So I said before this year is out, I was decluttering everything, my whole entire house. And that is what I started to do last week. Started from the closet, my closet in my bedroom, and gave away old clothing that I know that I would never wear, shoes. When I say I had different pair of shoes, I had the same pair of shoes in different colors. Same pair dress. I had a dress. Well, I still have it because I didn't put that up. But listen to this. I had a guest dress that I got in 4 different colors. Like I used to do things like that, like buy things and don't know why, just to say that I have. It was just crazy. And the things, I don't even go to places where to wear those dresses or those shoes anymore. I can't even wear heels like that anymore. I mean, just, and it's like a few months ago, I got rid of a lot of my wigs, which was great. I think, like I said, they have about between 200 or 300 wigs. And I got most of those. I think I got like a cart left, like a cart of wigs left. But I was just holding on to so much stuff. And in a minute, I'm going to give you some practical tips on how to get rid of them. And this is what I had started doing last week on how to get rid of them. And here it is. One, I set intentions. So what you do is you set intentions for what you want to keep, and you ask yourself, does this item bring me joy or serve a purpose in my life? So let me tell you what I was doing before. I wanted to hold on to the memories. I wanted to hold on the old version of me, which is nothing wrong with that. But when it starts to compile on things and block you from growing, then that's when you say, okay, that part of that version of me, I have to let it go. I don't need an item to be able to hold on to my memories when I have different items to show me what my past memories of myself was. And so it's like, okay, I got to get rid of that. Oh, I saw this piece. Oh my God, I got to have that. Okay, why do I have to have that? In that moment, it brings me joy, but then it goes away, and I don't see it for another 3 to 6 months when I go into my closet and I want to clean out my closet. Another thing is try the one-touch rule. Only handle items once to avoid procrastination. Yeah, that's a good one. And the next one is designate spaces. For different categories like clothing, books, and sentimental items, designate those. And I have. I've done that. I got different kind of wood bins for it. And now I'm doing like I did I had some old lingerie that I had created and designed. And they take up a nice little space in my closet for both men and women. And so I have been debating about what am I going to do with that? Am I going to hold off on that because maybe in a few years I might go back to, to doing that again or what? And so, but one thing is, it's a sentimental item for me, is because that was a part of a transition from my adult career to my mainstream career. That was a part of that. And so those pieces that I believe that I will steam them and then put them in a shrink, fold in where they can neatly put up in. But then different books that I have, books, especially the ones that I know that I go back and read. I save those. I do. I save all of those. I save all of those. But while doing that, it gave me a more freeing power. Made it feel like, okay, this is going. And then from there, now I'm going through the whole house now. Now it's going from the living room to the garage to my storage space, like things that no longer are aligned with me. A lot of the clothes that I hadn't worn in years. And again, I don't go to award shows anymore. So a lot of the gowns, I can't wear them anyway. When those gowns, I think I was like a size 3 or 4. My girls don't go to events like that. They don't go to any events, remotely, clearly with, award shows or anything, so no. So I had to get rid of those. I've outgrown them. I have a lot of material here that I can create some new pieces for myself, and I really believe that's what I'm going to do. I was talking to my baby the other day, and I was talking about minimalist, having a minimalist lifestyle. but not going that far with that because I'm still fabulous. I still want to be fab in my memories, but I just don't want to have all of those things. I just don't want to have all of those things anymore. I don't want to have, you know, 5, 6, or 7 pair of pants, the same style with different colors, especially if I'm not going to wear them. Right now, I believe I have at least 60 swimsuits. Yes, 60 swimsuits. Would I keep those? Yeah, I will. I will because I have a swimming pool and I use the pool in the summertime. But some of the stuff that I had, it just was just it was like, really, did you really? I had shoes that I've never worn before. Shoes that I've never worn before. Like, wow, like you just was just spending money. You was just, doing all of this. For what? But in the process of me doing that, I was seeing like, wow, okay, I see a clearing. Now I want to redo my closet. I want to go in and redo and make it just a whole beautiful space where I can start bringing in new things, creating new stuff to go into that space. And see, decluttering isn't just about physical items. It's about letting go of old paradigms. Now, as I told you, we've been reading the Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life by Bob Proctor, and he talks about how belief shapes our reality. So holding on to clutter is often tied to fear and fear of letting go, fear of change, or even fear of scarcity. And when I truly think about it, I remember all of those times that I was doing that. I was like, I kept wanting to hold on to something. Like if I let this go, that I would never remember, or it was so many things that was going through my mind and my head. But then when I realized, yes, I was in fear of change. Even though I wanted the change, I was in fear of change or what it would happen for me. Instead of me having the courage to say, okay, let me see what this change will be for me. I was afraid of it, so I kept some things. Not some things, I kept a lot of things. In a fear of scarcity, what if I don't have enough? It's some stuff I had for 15, 20 years. And I'm not talking about like old baby clothes for the kids. You save little boobies and stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it was grown clothes that I used to wear to clubs, to parties, and to stuff like that. Just stuff. Like, get rid of that stuff. Like, really, why are you holding on to that? Oh, I wore this in Miami and stuff. Girl, you wore that one time. Oh, cool. Well, maybe I could wear it for accident. You can't even fit in it. It won't even look right on camera. But this is what the conversation was that I had sitting on my closet floor with these clothes. Like, why are you so attached to these clothes? Oh, this is when you had millions. Yeah, but guess what? This ain't doing nothing for me now. It's doing nothing for me now. Nothing. Nothing for me now. You see, me keeping too many outfits, it just tied me to a scarcity mindset. It truly did. And the thing is, I know that those outfits I will never need again. I won't. Because first of all, I don't want to. I don't want to wear them no more. I want something new. Yes, I want something new. I want something new. I want something fresh. New and fresh. That's what we're talking about. I want something new and fresh. But I'm be honest, the truth is that when we release what we don't need, we create space for new energy and opportunities. When you think about your own home, are there areas where clutter is holding you back? Are there areas where clutter is holding you back? Maybe it's time to take the first step and clear the way for abundance to flow. All right, now let's talk about creating inspiring spaces. Now that we talked about declutter, let's focus on organizing and designing spaces that inspire abundance. Use light, color and light to elevate the energy in your rooms. Soft, warm lighting and calming colors can make a huge difference. Incorporate items that inspire you. This can be art, plants, or even a vision board that reflects your goals. And create a maintenance plan. Once you've decluttered and organized, set aside a few minutes each day to keep your space uplifting and vibrant. And remember, your environment that you should reflect your personal values and aspiration. And ask yourself, does my space align with the life I want to create? And if not, it's time to make some changes. When I say I am doing a whole overall, I am doing a whole overall. And it was funny because I was like, I wonder if I should record this, for my YouTube channel, for Naomi's World, if I should record all of this. I'm still debating if I should or not because I'm redoing my kitchen. It's not going to be bright, but it's going to be my aesthetic on what I want it to be right now. And I'm redoing a few other rooms. I'm redoing my bedroom, changing my work area space. So I'm changing a few things around. The floors in my hallway, I'm pulling that carpet up and putting down new flooring. So I'm kind of going into each space and redoing each room and each space the way that I want it to be in the new year. And so remember, I was speaking and talking about the new year was going to be the year of the rebirth for me. And the only way that I can do it is that not only me, myself, inside, but inside out. That even means my home. That means every part of me. Me changing my paradigm has been the most amazing journey ever. Just to put it's like the cherry on top of what I've already been going through. And what I mean going through is experiencing has been amazing these past few years. And when I say all the time, especially when I'm talking with my sister, as I say that, I have this high frequency that I'm constantly on, like I'm on a spiritual high. And I love being there. I love being there. But now I'm deeply working on my inside out. I think a couple of weeks ago, we had an amazing guest on, Dr. Michelle Hanna. And I remember she said about us lying to ourselves, how we lie to ourselves when someone asks us, how you feeling, how you doing, and we say, oh, we all right, when knowing that we're not all right. And it's like, and even though we have that on our face, like we're good, but we still need to be working on our insides. We still need to be working on what's going on in our insides. And what I'm learning the most is that even though being on this podcast lights me up, but also I had to keep reminding myself that, Naomi, you still have to take care of yourself. Even though you're preparing the work for others, you still need to do the work yourself as well. And that's why in the beginning of this month, last month, preparing for this month, is I couldn't get it together. Because there were some things that I was not doing, that I wasn't aligned with, that I could not say I am living in abundance. And I couldn't do. I couldn't sit here and speak and be lying. Because I hadn't before. So why even start? My body wouldn't even allow me to do it. That's how much my body has changed. It's like we ain't even about to allow you to do it. So every time you go and sit like you get ready to do something or get ready to write something, you not get ready to do any of that. Because the very thing you get ready to write is not what you're doing. And actually, I'm actually quite happy. Because now when I go back to this book, when I go back to the ebook, it's going to be really full. Because I already know what I got in it. But when I really go back in it and go rewrite it, it's going to be really full. Really full. All right, my beautiful people. Well, that's it for today. I thank you for joining me today as we explore the power of creating abundance in environment. Here's your challenge for this week. I want you to choose one area of your home, your closet, your desk, or even just one drawer, and declutter it. Let go of what no longer serves you and replace it with items that bring joy and inspiration. Share your progress in our private community or social media using the hashtag Abundant Space Challenge. And I love to see your transformation. And for my listeners here that are a part of the book club, don't forget to continue with the 10-day book challenge. I believe we are on day 8. And if you haven't started yet, there's no better time to begin. Next week, we'll dive into the role of relationship. Well, actually, tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? The relationship or cultivating abundance. That's later this week. I got an amazing guest. We're going to talk about that. But until next time, keep loving yourself and living abundantly. I am Nyomi Banks, and this is the Season of Self-Love. And have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love podcast. Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer.